Welcome to paradise. Yes, this is our Sunday gathering number 237, and we're so grateful you're here. You may be new to us with our Sunday gathering. You may have been with us all along since the beginning or somewhere along in the journey. We started our Sunday gathering back in March 2020 as a short-term thing to bring us into through a darker time and inspire us. And little did we know it would become a global sensation. And we put our heart and soul into it. We certainly do. I'm Sandra Champlain. If we haven't yet met, I'm joined here today by my two other amigos. We call ourselves the three amigos when we're together. Wonderful Darren Wynn and Dominic Boag. Our Sunday gatherings are designed to inspire, to uplift, to bring joy, and to share the reality of life after death. So that's why it all comes together. And like I said, little did we know it's turned into a global sensation. So each week you're joined here by 100, 150, 200 friends from around the world. I'd like to picture us as little lights on a globe, just shining strong. And of course, our loved ones are close as well. That opening video is My Place in Paradise, to one of my favorite songs, Phil Collins, of course. That's Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, a place that I've gone to for many, many vacations. I think starting in 2001. I haven't been back there in about 5 years, but it is near and dear to my heart. So I'm going to turn it over to Darren, who will talk about our theme, and then we'll just let the Sunday gathering unfold as it does. But a warm welcome to you for joining us, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, everyone, and a massive welcome to all of you. Sunday gathering 237. I don't even want to guess the years and stuff that what equates to, but it's a long time, and it's always enjoyable for us when we have to come up with different themes, music, all that kind of stuff we spend doing beforehand, and it's actually really fun. It was actually Sandra's inspiration for this week. It was her suggestion. As you know, myself has been on vacation, Dominic's been on vacation, and we've just come back from an absolutely wonderful time in a beautiful place called Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands, just off the coast of Africa. It was a wonderful time filled with love, laughter, and happiness. And I'm sure all of you will agree, when you go on vacation, you have a most wonderful time. You're with friends, family, you're in a beautiful area, you're enjoying the drinks, the food, and it comes to an end, doesn't it? And you come home, you're dreading coming home, it's back to reality, back to normality. But for me, it doesn't have to be. They always say you get the holiday blues when you come back. And yeah, you can, but you can also be positive when you come back as well. Because for me, I get inspired when I go on holiday. It's time to think, to process your life, and assess your life, so to speak. But I won't go on too much about that because that will come up later on in the address, etc. But yes, so the theme today is holiday inspiration, not holiday blues, holiday inspiration. And with me, we have the wonderful Sandra Champlain, who's the hostess with the mostess. She'll be doing all the behind the scenes stuff as normal for us. She'll also be doing today's reading, today's healing, and today's words of the week. You've also got the wonderful Dominic Boag with us this week, who will also be doing part of the address this week, our closing prayer, and obviously our demonstration of mediumship. And then you have myself, who will be the chair for this week, and I'll be doing the opening prayer and part of the address with Dom as well. So without further ado, ladies and gents, if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for the opening prayer. We come together here today as friends, brothers and sisters, united from across our lands, coming together as one from different countries, different time zones, and speaking different languages. But we come together here today in that universal language of love, with that same goal and that same intent within our hearts and our minds. To unite our world once again with that world we call unseen, under that banner of We Don't Die, so that we can once again all immerse ourselves in that joy and wonders of the unseen world. To our dear friends, helpers and loved ones of that world we call unseen, we come together here today united with no demands or no expectations, but we come together once again to allow ourselves to absorb the words, the thoughts and the love cascaded from your world to ours through the minds of our workers here today, allowing us to feel uplifted, joyous and happy. And as we come together here with an open heart and an open mind, we come together in a knowing and understanding that there are no boundaries or barriers within your world to ours. For each and every one of us is treated as an equal, and each and every one of us once again gets to experience the joy and wonders of bringing the two worlds together as one, allowing us all once again to immerse ourselves in the unconditional love and that healing balm. And each and every one of us finds it a joy and a privilege to work with your world and represent your world here today. And each and every one of us does this with the utmost integrity and respect, and does it to the best of our own ability and own understanding. And I truly hope we can make you proud here today and truly make a difference. So as we enter into our Sunday gathering, as always, we do so with a smile upon our face, happiness within our hearts, and positivity within our minds, and an abundance of love, so that we may create that perfect meeting ground in which the two worlds can come together once again. And we ask, as always, with all the atrocities going on within our world on this day, that that healing light continues to shine as bright as always to all four corners of the world, to bring that moment of joy, healing and happiness to all those hearts and minds that may be in need once again. So without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. All right, with vacation and holiday is our theme, here's my reading for today. Perhaps you've experienced that firsthand feeling of being recharged and refreshed from a vacation in the not too distant past. But many of us haven't taken a proper vacation in quite some time and may not be able to travel in the foreseeable future. Upon preparing for this reading today, I discovered there are health benefits related to vacations. And there are fun ways we can get these benefits even if we do not travel. I bet you want to hear. First, here are the 7 benefits of vacationing or taking a holiday. 1, improved physical health. Stress can contribute to heart disease and high blood pressure. For men and women, studies show that taking a vacation every 2 years compared to every 6 years will lessen the risk of heart disease and heart attacks. 2, improved mental health. Did you know vacations increase pleasant emotions while reducing depression? Vacations also provide a greater opportunity to experience moments of awe, which are found to generate a boost in our moods. 3, greater well-being. One study found that 3 days after vacation, people's physical complaints, quality of sleep, and mood had improved compared to before vacation. These gains were still present 5 weeks later, especially in those who had more personal time and overall satisfaction during their vacation. 4, increased mental motivation. Studies have found that chronic stress can make it difficult to achieve certain tasks, and it causes memory problems. Taking time off can be like getting a tune-up for the brain, improving your mental health and cognition. 5, improved family relationships. One study found that friends, families, and couples who participated in interesting, challenging, and exciting activities on vacation experience greater happiness, more love, and fun in their relationships. 6, less burnout. People who take regular time to relax are less likely to experience burnout, making them more creative and productive than their overworked, under-rested coworkers. And 7, boosted happiness. Research shows even the process of planning a vacation can boost your happiness. Some people experience an elevated mood up to 8 weeks before their trip. So, how do we take a vacation without traveling or traveling too far? Here are some ideas. Author Ingrid Lee says, 1, read books and watch movies that transport you. Search out famous or not so famous books or movies from different parts of the world that you're interested in. Then get lost in these during your staycation time. 2, broaden your musical horizons. Music is deeply connected to our emotions, which makes it particularly transporting. Hawaiian ukulele and hula music brings the beach into your living room with a vibe so relaxing that it can untangle the knots in even the tightest of shoulders. Caribbean music, whether reggae, calypso, or salsa, has a similar power to set the tone for a laid back and a happy day. 3, sip a place appropriate beverage. Cocktail hour can help some of us escape reality for some time, and they don't have to be alcoholic. Well, you can try some sangria, a margarita, taste some wines from around the world, discover good coffee like Costa Rican terrazzo, or try something different like Thai iced tea to transport you. 4, take a culinary adventure. Memories of food and travel and adventure go hand in hand, don't they? Why not make it dinner and a movie night? Have a laugh with my big fat Greek wedding while having some Greek food, or enjoy some Italian food and watch Under the Tuscan Sun, for example. And this time of year, why not create your own Oktoberfest? Have a little beer, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, some pretzels, some schnitzel. Why not? Number 5, visit a museum or national park virtually. Google offers an arts and culture project, and they've digitized hundreds of collections of online tours of museums and natural parks around the world. Or you can get yourself a virtual headset, and there are literally thousands of adventures you can go on in 3D. I personally have been on safari in Africa with the animals coming right up to me with the 3D headset on, and I have relaxed on some beautiful beaches in the world. 6, learn a new language. Saying something in Italian or German, even if it's only the words hello or thank you, feels like a window into a vacation, into a faraway land. Of course, you can pair this with a dinner, a movie, and a good drink for extra adventure. Buy a souvenir, a little trinket, a piece of art, or a little keepsake from someplace you're interested in. There's lots of good things on Amazon, Etsy, and the more we concentrate on it, maybe in the future we will have that vacation. 8, explore your own town and take mini trips. You can become a tourist in your own town or area. The app TripAdvisor is the one I use most, and it can show us great things to do, places to stay if you want to do an overnight, or restaurants to go to. We often forget, and many of us live in areas that people actually pay money to go on vacation too. So why not remember where we're at and do a little investigating of our own backyard? And the last one is take a trip down memory lane. So this one is personally my favorite one, and it doesn't cost anything. Talk to your loved ones about your favorite memories of trips together or different experiences that you have had. This actually brings these experiences alive. You go back and forth remembering different things about them, and it really boosts the mood, our enthusiasm, and gives us that creativity to try something new. Remember, the longest lasting and best memories we humans have are when we try something new with someone we love. And you don't have to go far to do it. So, who's up for getting creative? If we're in a slump, let's break it and realize that we have the power within us to make our own joy. So that's our reading for today. We're going to go into our healing segment, and I know we have a lot of new friends here today. The healing segment is we listen to a beautiful piece of music, and it's an opportunity for us to send healing to the world. And those in the unseen world use our human energy and can direct it to where it's needed. There's people, places, I know pets as well. I know there's many people within our community that have physical illnesses and need some healing, that are feeling pain. And we also know there's quite a bit of grief within our community. There's been loss. Even though we know people don't die, it does hurt when we have a loved one who has passed. So however you wish to send your healing, I know for myself, picturing people happy, healthy, whole, and well, picturing those who have a loved one who have passed, maybe visiting in their dreams, standing right by their side, thinking these happy memories. So, with that, just enjoy this song and keep your eyes open or close them, whatever you like. Just if you're in the present moment, that's always great as well. And then when we finish the song, we will hear from Darren and then Dominic for our address. The song Darren picked for today is from a group called Westlife, and the song is called Flying Without Wings. Let me share that with you now. And the next voice you'll hear will be a Darren's after the song.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I love that song. It's one of my favorites. And I thought it's a perfect song for our healing segment. So let's hope, all that healing power's gone out to where it's needed on this day and has made a true difference. As I said at the beginning, myself and Dom has just returned from a wonderful vacation in a lovely island of Gran Canaria, just off the coast of Africa. And like all of you guys, and Sandra mentioned it in her talk, when you book a vacation or a holiday, how exciting is it? You're sitting there going through the brochures as we used to in the old days. Now you do it all on the internet. You can see the pictures, the videos, you can look at your hotel, all the hotels you want to stay at. And, it takes a while to book somewhere because you spend so much time looking and getting excited. And how much fun is that? You're so excited and you end up counting down the days or weeks and months, whatever it may be. And the closer you get, you count down more, don't you? Oh, I can't wait for my holiday, can't wait for my holiday. And then your holiday comes, you have a wonderful, wonderful time, and then it comes to an end. And I know there's that term, the holiday blues, and we all get it, don't we? You're coming back to reality. If, like us, you're going from a hot country to what's now a cold country, miserable, raining, depressing, you've been in the sun, the blue skies, on the beaches, and you can't do that now because it's cold, it's damp, it's miserable. But for me, I've changed it around a little bit, and I have done for years. I don't call it a holiday blues, I call it the holiday inspiration. So when you come back from holiday, rather than thinking of all the negativity, oh, it's going to be cold, it's going to be damp, it's going to be this, I find when I go on holiday, and you guys might find the same, it's like you've pressed the pause button on your life. If you look at your life leading up to your holiday, and I know I can only speak for myself, hectic, chaos, working 7 days a week, working long hours, you're exhausted, you're tired, you're miserable, you're moaning. And then your holiday comes, and it's like someone's pressed that pause button. You've paused that part of your life. You've been transported to somewhere lovely, wonderful, and magical. And there you are for 7 days, 10 days to 2 weeks, whatever it may be. And it's paradise, like Sandra talked about. And it becomes your escape, your paradise for that period of time you're there. And whoever you're there with, you make the most of it, you enjoy it, you have lots of fun, lots of laughter, lots of food, and of course, the odd cocktail or two. And it's wonderful. You're in that moment and life's changed. It's all wonderful. And you sit there having these moments, oh, this is the life, this is magical. And you're telling your friends back home how much you're enjoying it. And there are, people, oh, how is it? Oh, it's wonderful. And then it comes to an end, doesn't it? And you're back home. You're like, oh, you land and it's cold and frosty and wet and what have you. But for me, it's when you're on holiday, it's like somebody has pressed that pause button on your life. And for me, I use the holiday to reflect on my life. And most of you can agree, you probably do it more like myself as you get older, you do it a lot more. And I know from my own personal experience, before my holiday, I had 2 operations within 7 weeks of each other. And when I reflect, I thought, actually, that's probably down to the pressure I've put my body under. It's, the amount of work I'm doing, all that. That's what it boils down to. And I said, I haven't had an operation for, years. And to have two in such a short space of time, something's not right, something's going wrong. So for me, when I'm on holiday, it's that time of reflection. What's my life like? Am I enjoying my life? Well, no, I don't enjoy working 7 days a week and long hours. And what can I do to change it? How is my health? How is my lifestyle? How is my family? How are my friends? So that's how I view a holiday. And during the course of the holiday, I think of ideas. Me and Scott talk about different things. What can we do to make our lives better? What can we do to make life easier? And that's how I refer to holiday inspiration, because you get that time away. You're not in your own house or your, in your own surroundings. You're someone completely different, someone completely new. And if you're like me, we run a food business. And I'm quite sad when I go away. We obviously visit different food establishments. And I watch how people serve. I watch how people cook. I watch how people do things. I watch how people interact. And me and Scott sit there. It's quite sad, really. We sit there thinking, oh, look at how they do that. Why don't we do it that way? It's easier. Look at how they cook that. Look, isn't that easier? Oh, look at this on the menu. Why don't we put that in it? You get all these ideas. And I find by the time I come back from holiday, I'm buzzing, I'm overflowing with ideas. I have to write them down. And you do, and that's how I use holiday. I sort of analyze things, analyze myself. What can I do differently? How can I do it differently? I'm in this moment where I'm happy, I'm calm, I'm relaxed, my body's not aching, my bones aren't creaking. So what is it I'm doing now that's different to what I'm doing at home? Obviously, I'm on hot vacation, but then I'm thinking, what can I do when I get back home to kind of replicate this feeling to some degree? And that's how I use holiday. Me and Scott do. We come back with a long list of things and objectives we want to do. And you kind of look at your goals and ambitions in life, don't you? And you think, if you look at New Year's Eve, for example, we all set goals, ambitions, whatever you want to call it, but we never, it lasts a day, a week at most, and we never fulfill those, those goals, ambitions, do we? But I think on holiday, because you're taking at your time, your leisure, you're not being told when to make these decisions. You kind of make them subconsciously without realizing it. So for me, I think when I come back off holiday, which was done this time, we've made a list of things we need to change within our lives. And then we look, how are we going to change it? And it's not easy. Life that you come back and literally the following day, you're back to normality. You're back into that 7 days a week, the long hours of this, that, the other. And I said to Scott, the only way we're going to achieve these things, we need to write them down and we need to set targets. By this date, we're going to do that. By that date, we're going to do that, whatever it may be. And so I've come back not with the holiday blues, but with holiday inspiration. And like Sandra mentioned in her reading, you don't necessarily have to go to vacation to do this. You can do it yourself at home. You all get carried away with your day-to-day lives. And let's be honest, life does get busy. It does. And it's easy to get lost in that motion. And sometimes for our own sanity, for our own health, for our own well-being, we need to press that pause button in our own life and just sit back and reflect. Are you happy doing this? Are you happy with the way your life is? And I guarantee probably 90% of you out there probably, no, it could be better. Well, how can it be better? Sometimes we do have to really pause and reflect on our own life and think, what changes do we need to make to improve our life? When you're on holiday, it's fun of happiness, fun, laughter. That's how our life should be. Our life should be full of fun. Our life should be a permanent vacation. But I'm sure they're not. Mine's not. And I'm sure your guys isn't. So we need to look at how we can do that, and Sandra's already talked about some of the bits you can do. Quite sad. Me and Scott have theme nights some nights. We do a Mexican night where we do fajitas, sangria, and da-da-da. And it just brings a bit of joy and a bit of happiness. And it does bring back the holiday memories, when you're on the beach and when you're drinking and what have you. And like I said, many of you sit there. I do it. We did it on holiday. You sit there with a drink in hand. You're looking out at the ocean. Life's just trickling by and you sit there and think, this is the life. But we should be saying this in our own lives. We should be saying, this is the life. And we need to look and question, why isn't it? And at the end of the day, we're in control of our lives. Nobody else is. Like I said, you can work 7 days a week. You can work 16 hours a week. No one's going to stop you. The only person that can stop you is you. The only person that can change it is you. So I think we need to look at ourselves and be the person we want to be. And, put that pause button on, have a look at your life, reflect and think what you want to change. What do you want to do? How do you want to live? And it's for your own well-being, for your own sanity of mind and for your own health. And ultimately, we all want that joy, that happiness, that laughter, that love, don't we? That's what we want our lives to be. So let's reflect. And if before you press that play button, again, I can't talk today, and I've not had a cocktail, I promise. And before you press that play button again, have those ideas listed, drawn up, because if you're like me, if it's in your head, it won't happen. Write it down, put targets on there, and let's truly live our lives like a permanent vacation full of fun, laughter, and happiness. And I'll now hand you over to Mr. Dominic Boag.
Thank you, Darren. It sounds like you're still on vacation. You're out of practice with your Sunday gathering talks, aren't you? You're still on that beach, I can tell. But it's absolutely true, exactly what Darren says. And one thing that I really want to, press upon with taking a holiday or a vacation is the mental health and the mental well-being that each and every one of us actually deserves. We all deserve a piece of paradise, but our paradise is always going to be different. Darren's paradise might not be my paradise. I love going on a cruise. He couldn't think of anything worse because he gets travel sick. So everyone's got different needs that they need to achieve when on vacation. And like Sandra says, it doesn't need to be about traveling. It doesn't need to be about going to the airport or going to the cruise terminal and heading to these beautiful or wonderful destinations, because sometimes life gets in the way that we can't take that time to make those beautiful vacations happen. So, exactly as Sandra says, doing things at home, exploring your own town, or taking just a few days off of your work and being able to sit out in the yard or in the garden and just do nothing. Do nothing. Every one of us have been at some point knee deep in work, whether, like Darren says, working 7 days or, traveling a lot. Myself and Darren and Scott and Sandra, we travel the world working, but that's not a vacation. That's work mode. So you don't appreciate it as much. You don't see the beauty that maybe you would if you were there on vacation. And surely life is not all about work, 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 work. Surely there's got to be more to just work, work, work. But we have to work to live. But surely if we could take some time out of our life, we're all entitled to some time off, aren't we? I try telling Spirit that all the time. Surely I'm entitled to some time off. And it's important to then take that moment for you, whether it's a week or 10 days or, a fortnight. Do things for you that helps you find you again, that helps you recharge those batteries. As a medium, my job is very, very depressing. Very depressing. Now, I know that may sound maybe strange to you all, but it's very depressing and it can be very lonely. So when I have an opportunity to take time out to reflect, I'm not thinking about Spirit. I'm not thinking about my readings or my live gallery events or anything. I'm thinking about Dominic. What does Dominic need? What is he missing in life? What about my family? What about my friends? What about my partner? Taking that time to actually say, Dominic the medium can go in the closet for a little while. Never thought I would put Dominic back in the closet, but there you go. Putting Dominic back in the closet for a while to actually have the normal Dominic. Because I'm human. I'm human and I'm entitled to relax and recharge. And the great thing for me when I do go on vacation, I'm not concentrating on Spirit. I'm not becoming aware of any Spirit communicators or people wanting to interact. I'm actually thinking of myself. But it actually recharges me and it really inspires me. I get to a place similar to, like Darren says, that excitement of going back to work. I know what kind of life do we have saying that we get excited to going back to work? But we do. And I get excited because I come away from being static and maybe a little complacent in my work and very comfortable. And if I've got that time out and that time away and I'm reflecting on things and being inspired, then I'm coming back with a new approach, a new love for it, a new let's go, let's do it, let's see what we can do. But mentally, we all need that break. If you're a nurse, surely your whole life is not about trying to fix people and heal people and stitch people and scan people. If you're a teacher, surely it's not always about teaching the kids and shouting at the kids to get your attention or whatever. surely we all deserve a moment to just take a step back from the professional us, sometimes taking a step back from the family members as well. Let's be honest, sometimes we need a holiday from some family members as well. So taking that step back to actually, have some you time, some time for you to just reflect on life itself. I just remember, myself and Scott and Darren and Mark walking along the beach, the sun in the sky and listening to the waves, and us as colleagues actually talking as friends, not thinking about Spirit, Scott not thinking about his work, and Darren and Mark not listening to two mediums talking all work, work, work. We actually talked about family and how they're doing and what they're doing, and getting to know each other. And that was just beautiful. And that's something that was very nice, to just connect to people that are like-minded out with work. And I remember as we came to the end of the beach, we sat at this beautiful bar and we had a drink in our hands. We always do a nice little toast to well wish things or people or dreams or whatever. And the four of us just sat silently for at least 10 minutes, just staring out to the water. And it was just a great sense of peace. So, one of my greatest things that I do when I book a holiday or a vacation, I go right on that YouTube and I have a look at the videos and, the hotel rooms and then the pool. And my favourite, the food. I like to go look at the food and I almost feel like I'm already there. And it really gets me psyched, it gets me excited, and it makes me feel keep working, do what you do and do what you enjoy, because this little break is coming up and you've worked hard, you've earned it. And I don't care what anyone says. You work hard, you must play hard as well. You've got to have some love in life. So going on vacation is exciting, even if I'm going on a brand new cruise ship that I've not been on for the first time. Oh, I'm on that YouTube, I'm touring it, and I'm deck 4, deck 12, what's this, what's that? So I'm finding out everything all about it before I've even went. And it just really gets me excited and it keeps me going. But there's got to be that balance of, what do you want to achieve on vacation? Are you going to be a tourist and see these beautiful new places and learn some culture? Are you going just to relax on the beach and do absolutely nothing, which is wonderful? Are you going on adventures? Are you going to do zip sliding through the caves and through the rainforest? Or are you going to maybe get inspiration if you're an artist and look at the different colours and the different things? Look at your vacation as time for you, time for reflection, as Darren says, reflecting on your life, but also reflecting on your well-being as well. Is your life where it needs to be? Are you content, or are you just existing? Taking time on vacation helps you do that. It helps you reflect on what you want versus what you have, where you're going versus where you're at. And vacation doesn't need to be about going on expensive holidays or, tropical islands. Like Sandra says, you have beauty on your doorstep. Go and explore the new places. Nowadays where we live, we have a lot of pop-up restaurants of different cuisines, whether it's Italian, Mexican, Korean. Go on an adventure of tasting the world on your doorstep as well. But do what I do, get on that YouTube and watch all the beautiful videos and think, yep, I'm going there. But one thing is very important as well, as life gets very busy and very hectic. Give yourself the promise of taking time out. Don't just look at the word holiday or vacation as going on a trip. Look at it, as Darren says, just pausing life for a moment and taking that time to get out in your yard and, maybe do some planting of, some flowers or whatever, and catching up with friends and, taking care of you. That's the most important thing. So find your paradise wherever it may be, but allow yourself to be happy, joyful. Just go chill. Get the reggae music on and just chill. because you know what? The worries of today will always be there. So pause your life, go have fun, relax in whatever capacity you can, recharge yourself, and then come back rejuvenated, maybe even looking younger, who knows? But just take time for you is the greatest thing that I could describe a holiday should be. So go have fun, go book your holiday, go have a look at taking some time off, get on the YouTube, and just remember, holiday means a break of life and time for you. So thank you very much for listening to myself and Darren, and I will hand it back over to Sandra.
Oh, thank you both so much. What a joy. I feel this is a different Sunday gathering, even though we have all the elements in place, but it's like a little vacation, little holiday Sunday gathering. I love it. Thank you for those words, you guys. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to our demonstration of mediumship. And this is the opportunity our loved ones in the spirit world have to let us know how close they are to us. And I know we've got lots of new friends here today, so I'll do my best to explain this well. Let me first tell you a little something about Zoom. I know you guys can just see Darren, Dominic, and I when we speak. We're called panelists when we do a Zoom webinar. We do a Zoom webinar because anytime we go over 100 people, we can't do it the other way where you see other people on Zoom. So we do it this way. Well, when we do our demonstration of mediumship, I like to say that the loved ones that come through our medium, that they're panelists from the spirit world. That's what I like to say, because if you pay attention, words from myself, from Darren, from Dominic, they're meant to serve all of us so that we all get something from our lives. So although there will be some members of our community today that will get readings, they will, you'll hear from your loved ones. These panelists from the spirit world really are here for all of us, just letting us all know how close our loved ones are. And so the folks that do speak through our medium today, yes, there might be messages just for that loved one, but if you really listen in, sometimes we can use some of that advice ourselves. Sometimes it's just nice to hear just how close they are and how they're witnessing things in our lives. So don't be tricked into thinking, oh, I didn't get a reading today, No, these people are here for everybody. So Dominic is our medium today, and he's a good friend, and we love when he's on our Sunday gatherings. We absolutely do. He will do his request of the spirit world to work with him. And we are still people after we expire from this life. We are still us. We still have our sense of humor, as we see quite often. And so our spirit friend will do their very best to give themselves a description to Dominic, whatever they like to share. They'll use his memories, his thoughts, pictures in his mind. Oh, who knows? Songs, you never know. You never know. There could be a taste of Mexican food. We don't know how they work. But he'll give a few initial bits of information about the person that is with him from the spirit world. And now this is the part we want everybody to be on the edge of your seat, because those in the spirit world know exactly who is on our Sunday gathering. You could be out for a walk thinking you're by yourself. Nobody knows. Oh, your loved ones know. Absolutely, they do. So when Dominic gives these few initial bits of information, if you recognize that description as somebody you know that is no longer walking this earth, somebody in your life, we want you to press your raise hand button. Now, this is the time that I kindly ask everybody on whatever device you're on to find that raise hand button and just press it, see how it works. If you're on an iPad or a phone, there might be 3 dots that you need to press before that raise hand button goes up. When I talk about people in the spirit world, it could be a loved one, could be a family member, could be a friend, could be somebody you worked with, could be somebody a little distant. But you'll get that little tug from your soul saying, oh, boy, I know exactly who he's describing. Okay, so wait till he finishes giving the description of the person, and then we'll ask for you to press your raise hand button. Why we like to have you practice the raise hand, because it'll go from raise hand to lower hand, is sometimes there may be 2 or more people that can take all the information. If that happens today or in any of our Sunday gatherings, just keep listening in, because if he mentions something that doesn't fit, then just do us the favor and lower your hand. If you're someone that talks to Dominic today, or any medium on our Sunday gathering, or any medium in the world, do your very best to let them do the work. And so they'll give statements, and we just need you to say yes or no. Yes, meaning you understand, no, meaning you don't, or maybe you don't know. So yes, no, or I don't know. Be honest. Don't feel bad if something doesn't fit. Say no. No is just a new opportunity to find out that information, but be honest with us. Why it's important that you don't give any more information than that is we want everybody, especially those who are getting the readings today, to know that Dominic and our other fine mediums are really working with our loved ones in the spirit world. They're giving the information. You're not feeding the medium with you telling the story of your loved one. We want everybody to know that this is a real thing. Our loved ones are real. They're with us in our life. Certainly they continue to learn and explore and have fun and travel the world on the other side, but they're only a breath away from us and easily can be walking by our side, being in two places at once. Okay, so that's a little bit about how that goes. Yes, no, and I don't know, raise hand button. I think I got it covered. We always like to play a piece of music before we go into our demonstration. This song is just a couple minutes long. The title is called Are You With Me by a band called Lost Frequencies, but I did put a little Sandra magic, knowing that the guys went to Gran Canaria. You will see the view of Gran Canaria as you listen to the song. Isn't that nice? Yes. This is a virtual vacation. So here is the song, and then we'll come right back with Dominic for the demonstration. Welcome back, Dominic.
Thank you very much. I had to quickly get my towel and get back from the beach there. You know, I was like, I've got work to do. Come on. But thank you very much, Sandra. Just as I'm allowing the spirit world to come forward, I am very much aware of this beautiful gentleman that steps forward here just now. And I know when he was here on earth, he would have been a beautiful father. I know that he goes to the spirit world very prematurely, if I can say that. I don't feel he makes old bones. I feel maybe in his 60s as I'm connecting with him. But I feel music was such a big influence to him. And I feel maybe in his younger days, he would have been a performer or would have been in a band, because I wanted to talk about playing the guitar. I wanted to talk about singing. I felt very much like playing the music and singing and just being in front of people or in front of an audience is simply what I need to say with this man. And I felt that there was a connection to the name Richard or Ricky, Rick, as I connected with this man, because I kept hearing the name Richard being mentioned as I connected with him. And I also feel John or Johnny would be significant to Dad as well as I connect here with him.
Thank you very much. All right, friends, who understands this information? Go ahead and press your raise hand button, please. All right, we have three lovely ladies, four with their hands raised. Dominic?
And I also want to talk about where Dad would have had issues with his heart. I'm not sure if it was a heart attack, but I am very aware of my heart racing at the moment. So hopefully one of you would be able to understand Dad having the issue with the heart.
All right, ladies, if that part didn't make sense, go ahead and press your lower hand button, please. All right, we have Jillian, Julia, and Cynthia with their hands raised.
I'm going to speak to Cynthia because I actually kept hearing the name Cynthia, but I felt it was spirit and I felt that was my next connection. So let me check with Cynthia.
All right, Cynthia, if you can find that unmute button that should have popped up. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi.
Welcome.
Hey, sweetie.
Hi.
So you understand this to be Dad, yes?
Not Dad. That's the only thing. I have a dad living that has a lot of that, but not a dad.
Do you understand the name Johnny or John and the Richard?
Yes.
And you understand the male that would have crossed over with the heart that would have been sudden?
Yes.
And the connection to the music?
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure why I've got that feeling of the dad, so please forgive me. But it does feel right, if I can say that to you. Would you understand if I says to you as well, sweetie, that he could light up a room if it had so much darkness, just his presence, his demeanor, he could really light up a room, darling?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I feel the moment I connected with him, he came in very excitable, if I can say that to you. He just made me want to almost like pick everyone up and cheer everyone up. And I just got the impression of wanting to talk about people still to this day, talk about his singing, his playing, his band. Like I feel memories are still shared with this beautiful fella.
Yes, but he loved music. He always wanted to play guitar. Just started doing karaoke, but he was never in a band.
Okay, I'll go with that, but I'm very aware of wanting to talk about the memories of singing, okay, because I keep getting that very, very clear. I also feel as he connects here with me, he was a bit of a comedian as well. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yes, because I know in some ways he just wanted to make people smile, if I can say that to you. And I know as I connect here with him, he does make me feel very much that there is a huge part of the family and the friendship circle that is broken without him being here. So I know he was such a big part of life that him not being here, him not being present with us physically, is very difficult to have. And I feel going to family events, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever, I feel he would have been, you know, the entertainment, if you would, of all these events. And I feel like not having him there is quite difficult to deal with.
Yes.
Yeah, because he keeps telling me to say I show up all the time, he says, because people still put a placemat out for him or a plate, or there's things that are put out as a snow globe or at Christmas. So do you understand if you maybe put things out to make sure he can still be a part of these events?
Yes. But my family don't want to have any more.
Okay, sweetie. Well, whether they don't want to have any more or whether this continues, what I want to say to you is regardless, he will always be in your heart and he will always be in your thoughts. Like we were saying about, if you can't travel, go on your own virtual tour or go on. And I feel what he's trying to say is regardless, I will be there. Regardless, you hold me close is what I want to say too. Do you have like a little photograph of him that you carry around with you all the time?
Yes.
Yeah, because he just keeps telling me to say he'll always be there because you have your photograph, you have these, you feel very, I want to say angered that you didn't get to say goodbye to him and that you didn't get to remind him that how much you loved him. Do you agree with that?
Yes. It was the
I
only.
want you, that's okay. I want you to know that he knew how much you adored him, how much you loved him, and he will never forget that. But you gave him that gift of love, and he thanks you so much for that, sweetie. So just know that maybe if you go to a karaoke bar or if you find yourself going out to an event and people are singing and having a good old time, I want you to know that he is there having that best time with you, darling. Okay?
Oh.
His life did not stop. It just started unfolding in a different way that's different to you and I. But please know he knows how much you love him, darling. Keep doing your own little thing to keep him a part of your life because that's all that's needed. Cynthia, thank you so much for allowing me to speak to you, darling.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You take care. So I'm very much aware of this beautiful lady that's stepping forward here, and it's quite funny because she is quite a strong woman. It's interesting because I feel she's got like this sweet, innocent look, but I feel she could be like the devil wearing Prada in some way. And I mean this politely, but I know as she connects here with me, she would have been up there in age. I feel very much maybe at the end of my 90s here as she connects with me. So I know that as I connect here with her, she would have been grandma, she would have been great grandma. I know that there would be like an Italian feeling with this beautiful family as well. But this woman, her faith, boy, that's all she keeps going on about, to be honest. And I feel that I want to talk about her rosary beads were blessed by the Vatican. There was holy water brought back. There was so much. I don't really know what you would call it, to be honest with you, but all these artifacts, if you would, that belong to her and her faith and her church. And I know that I want to talk about like a name that would be maybe Lyselle or Lucinda, something with an L that I'm not quite, getting very clear. And I know also Maria would be connected with this beautiful lady also. But I need to talk about her personality. I don't know if she just got to a point in life of, you know what? To hell with it. I'm just saying it how it is. Or she held no guns and she held no prisoners, let me tell you.
Thank you very much. I know we had one hand went up right away. If anybody else can understand, that information, press your raise hand button. Dominic, we have Shelley with her hand raised. Shelley, if you can find that unmute button. Hi, Shelley.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
sweetie.
Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. Thank
That's
you.
okay. Would you understand, and I mean this politely, sweetie, but would you understand why I feel like she's got this very, very strong personality, if I could say that to you, darling?
She
Yep.
was my mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law, okay, sweetie. But I don't mean this in a rude way, but I just get the impression she could shoot from the hip, if I could say that to you, correct?
She was not inhibited.
Perfect. And would you accept if I said to you about all these trinkets or all these artifacts from, the rosary beads being blessed and the holy water? Like, I feel these were very important to her.
Yes, and also
Yep.
with the L, my husband, her son's name was Luciano. He is also in spirit.
Okay, maybe that's what I was hearing, darling, but I'm not going to try to make it fit. But I felt I had this strong Lucille type name, if I could say this to you. I know that I want to talk about the prayers and the healing that had been sent for them both, if we could say that, if I could say that to you. I am very much aware as well, if I could say, there seems to be this strongness with them. So I feel in some way, maybe, your husband done a lot for his mom, being very emotionally connected, doing what he can for her. But there seems to be a beautiful bond with them both, if I can say that to you, darling. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I do also want to talk about, would I be correct to say towards the end, your beautiful husband wasn't able to fully breathe very well?
That's right.
Yes, because I'm very aware of him stepping forward as well and introducing himself to me. And I know that I want to say he found it difficult to breathe towards the end, but I know also, if I could say to you, either you sitting praying with him or you having memories sitting with him, holding his hand and almost like trying to make conversation so he didn't need to, if I can say that. Is that true?
Um, n- 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 he had a trach, but I was not holding his hand too much at that point.
Okay, because I'm just very aware of this feeling of holding the hand and just trying to, compose him or settle him is certainly what I want to say. I get the impression of wanting to say you gave him more comfort than maybe you realized. Okay.
That
I
may
do.
be.
Okay. I do feel, if I can say to you, he does make me want to apologize to you for not necessarily looking out for himself or looking after his well-being, if I can say that to you as well. Would that be true?
Very.
Yep, because I know he acknowledges his mother, and I know that she is almost like pushing him forward, like, and you will apologize, and you will tell her you're sorry, and I feel in some way it's almost like a comical situation going on here with them both. If I can say this to you, I know since your husband has made his transition to the spirit world, you've either moved house or made renovations to the house, but something makes me feel there has been a change in where you live or how it looked beforehand. Is that also true?
Yes, where I lived
Yes.
with him is very
Yes,
much in the past.
fabulous. Because I know he keeps telling me to talk about the life you went on and recreated. And it's funny, I mentioned to the previous connection about the singing, but I know that I want to talk about you starting to sing again and finding the joy in your life again, if I can say that to you. But your beautiful husband, he keeps telling me to say he knows you gave him more second chances than a cat. Okay, so I feel he wants to say he appreciates that, he admires that, but he wants you to know he's sorry he threw our love away. Okay.
Yes.
And I do want to say to you that his mother, your mother-in-law, she gave him such a hard time when she got to him because she was able to reflect back on things herself and what was going on. And I just feel, with the greatest of respect, they both should have a TV show, like a soap opera, because it's hilarious, if I can say that to you, sweetie. I do
yes.
know that the mother-in-law has stepped forward to thank you for doing your best to love her son. And that's the most important thing. She keeps saying, I want to thank you for loving him and doing the best you did with him. So please know that she acknowledges that love that you gave in her absence and so forth as well, sweetie. So thank you very much for allowing me to speak to your beautiful mother-in-law and your husband as well, darling. Sincerely, thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. So I'm very much aware of this young boy stepping forward here just now, and I'm rubbish with age, but I feel I'm in my 20s as I connect with this fella, and I do feel that he goes to the spirit world through. I feel he has an addiction issue, and I feel like maybe he was unfortunately dabbling with maybe some drugs. I don't feel he always had taken drugs, but I feel there's something that had sent him over the edge, if I can maybe say this. I feel there would be a connection to the name Sean for some reason, because I keep getting this feeling of needing to say Sean here with him. And I also feel as he connects here with me, I'm not sure if it's mum that finds him passed away or a partner, but I'm very aware of a female that finds him passed away, if I can say this as well here. I know also there should be like a Jamie or a Jamie or a Janie name that may be connected to this beautiful young man as well.
Thank you very much, Dominic. We have Jeanette with her hand raised. Jeanette, if you could press your unmute button. Hi, Jeanette.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello, my darling. Would you understand why I get the impression, and I mean this with the greatest of respect, darling, but would you understand if I says to you that he had went downhill or he had lost himself very quickly, darling?
Yes.
Yes, because I know as much as he has his situation going on or his issues going on, I don't feel he was always like this, sweetie. And what I mean by that is he wasn't dealing with an addiction for 10 years or whatever. I feel very quick things unfolded with him. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. And I know if I could say to you, darling, like I said, this feeling of this female finding him, I feel he tries his very best to replace that moment, that horror, with more positive memories. And I feel this has maybe been something you've been finding yourself, as looking through old photographs, pictures of him when he was younger, trying to reminisce the good times rather than that moment. Is that true?
Yes, his stepdaughter found him.
And I know that's not easy, and I understand that. But where does the Sean connection come in? Where's the S name?
Sean is his name.
That's him. Perfect. Because just as I'm connecting more and more, it keeps coming back and back and back to me here, sweetie. I know also, if I can say that to you, he did not realize that he was being reckless. And I feel like what he keeps trying to say to the family is, thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me when I didn't really have any faith left myself. Okay, so I know as a family, you said his stepsister or daughter, like people tried their best to really love him and do well for him, but I know that either he was out of reach or he had blocked people away or went away, but there's something to do with not being able to be with him to help him all the time. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes, because he keeps telling me to say it's important that he lets everyone know that he found himself again, if I can say that to you, darling. He found himself again. And I don't know if there was like an injury or something that had happened that maybe set him downhill or set him on this spiral, but I feel there was something that he just couldn't adapt to or couldn't fix that was out of his control, that he then maybe turned from alcohol to drugs or something. Is that making sense?
Yes.
Yes. That's okay, as long as you understand it, but that's what and he's funny because he's not trying to make excuses for his behavior, but he's trying to show he now accepts. And I know if I wasn't, on a public platform here, I would use an interesting word, but all I can say to you is please know and let everyone know that he is now owning his stuff. Okay, he owns his actions, is certainly what I want to say here. But I know if I was to say to you, there had been something either done in his memory or, like a group of friends maybe done a hike or a trail or something. I feel people had done something in his memory or in his honor to help raise awareness in a small town or a community. Is that true?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, sweetie. If you could maybe ask about that for me, that would be wonderful. But I know that he keeps acknowledging to me that people have tried to raise awareness and tried to be a support to others since he's passed as well. Okay. He just says to me, and also, can you pass on the happy birthday for me? So there must be the birthday coming up to the family as well, darling.
Yeah, a few.
Perfect. Because again, I know you just want to say, also say happy birthday for me. Please say happy birthday for me. I don't know why I keep hearing Tennessee, and I really don't know why I keep hearing this, but all I can say to you is I keep hearing Tennessee, and I don't know why. But maybe find out if he now has a friend or connections to someone that is now living in Tennessee, if you can do that for me.
Yes.
Okay. But spread the love that he still has. Let the world know that he's doing perfectly well, doing perfectly fine. And I know there's a sense of an apology to the beautiful young lady who finds him and trying to reflect on the good times rather than the sad times, if I can say that. Can I ask you, was he a little bit naughty that he would maybe tease people with like chasing them with frogs or critters or something?
He was something, yeah.
Yeah, because I just feel like there's more fun memories of who he used to be, and I keep seeing like him with this friggin' bucket filled with like frogs or toads or something, and I'm just like, get away, get away. But that's the impression I keep getting there. I still feel there's a male here he connects to that's a J name, whether it's Justin or Josh or something, but I got a strong J connection to a male that he's trying to help support as well, sweetie. Okay.
Okay,
Jeanette, thank you so much for allowing me to connect with you, sincerely.
thank you.
Thank you very much. So I'm very aware of two gentlemen stepping forward here just now. I almost get the impression it's father and son as I'm connecting here at the moment. I know there should be a connection to Bobby or Robert because I keep hearing this name as I'm connecting here. And I also feel like Don or Dan in some ways I'm connecting as well here. I know as I'm connecting there would have been an influence of cancer that I had a battle with, and I feel I'm going into my lower region here, so maybe my bowel or my stomach in some way. But I know I want to talk about trying to get over the cancer in some way. Keep seeing a maple leaf, so that for me is symbolic to do with Canada. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a Canadian connection here in the family with him. I know that I want to talk about watching over grandchildren. So I feel that we didn't get to meet all the grandbabies, and now being able to watch over them and look after them from spirit also is what I keep wanting to say here. But I feel I've got dad and his father in the spirit world. So father and son is what I want to say here. And if I'm right with this, there may be something to do with like a flannel shirt or yeah, a flannel shirt. I think it's called a striped shirt belonging to this beautiful man that is still here that you should have.
Thank you very much. All right, who understands this information? Go ahead and press your raise hand button, please. I feel everybody thinking.
Everyone's like, oh, I think the Canada thing might have thrown everyone, but I will get into that.
Okay. Carol and Julia raised their hands.
Okay. It's interesting because I also want to talk about, I don't know if there's a connection to car dealerships or a mechanic or buying or selling vehicles or something, but I keep wanting to talk about vehicles as well. So hopefully one of our beautiful ladies would understand the connection with the vehicles.
All right. Carol's hand remains. Let's talk to Carol. If you
Let's
could
check
press
with
your
Carol.
unmute button, Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hi.
Hey, sweetie, if you could just tell me what you understand, sweetie.
I understand the father and son
Yep.
being there together. Canada, obviously.
Are you in Canada, did you say? Sorry,
Yes,
darling.
yes.
Okay, I beg your pardon. Thank you. And do you understand the Rob or the Bob? Robert?
Yeah, he is
Yeah.
connected to both of those people.
Perfect. And what about the Don or the Dan name? Danny?
Yeah, there is another connection of someone that's passed with the name Dan.
Also there.
Very
Okay,
close,
sweetie.
yeah.
Okay, sweetie, thank you. And with the younger male, so like I said, father and son, with the younger male, would you understand why I would get the impression of wanting to say that we didn't expect his passing or we weren't prepared for his passing? Yeah,
exactly.
Because I know that I want to talk about leaving my legacy behind, leaving my love, my family, and I pressed upon, not getting to meet all the grandbabies or not getting to see this. And I feel there's a lot of talk of if he was still here, he would love him. If he was still here, he would be doing this. You see, because it keeps telling me to say, but I do, I'm there. And you would still have the shirt
Yeah.
Or top? Like I felt flannel, but I'm not too
Yeah.
sure what I mean by that. Would you also understand where I get the thing about the car dealership or the mechanic or dealing with the vehicles?
He was a car fanatic.
Perfect, fabulous. Because I know I also want to talk about a photograph, and I feel maybe on your own refrigerator or a daughter's, but I want to talk about where there's a picture of him beside a car. I don't know if I'm looking at a sports car or a car with numbers or something on it, but I know I want to talk about the different photographs of different places because I feel I would either go to events or I would go to, we would call them fairs, but maybe
Yeah.
that's not the right word, but I feel he would go to see rallies or track or things
Yes.
as well. Would that be true? Perfect. And with the older gentleman, would he have been the one that had the cancer in the tummy or the stomach or the bowel?
No, I don't. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, because I'm very aware of wanting to talk about either not getting diagnosed and back and forth and tests not getting done properly and then eventually losing weight and things. Just remember I said if it's relevant, they'll bring it back to me, but I felt I wanted to talk about the difference between the quick passing, the unexpected passing, the illness. So I do want to say this, Darren. I don't know why I keep getting elementary, so I don't know if there's a connection to like Elementary Ave or Elementary Street, but I keep seeing this on my mind here as well, and I feel this is where someone lived with them as well, if I can say that to you. I also want to talk about, was there twins?
No.
If you don't understand twins, would you understand then if I said to you about two children, two babies being born after their passing?
Yes.
Yes, because I keep getting told to say, I watch over the two. I watch over the two. So I have to say that, Darren. Okay, I have to say that. And I get the impression of wanting to talk about someone, I feel a little boy being very like him or has a characteristics or some little traits like him, but I feel there's been some mention of but similarities.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Because it makes me feel looking over, and I feel I'm talking about a little boy who's got a short name, maybe Adam or Jay, or like a very short name is what I'm feeling here at the moment. But I know that he just keeps trying to acknowledge, yes, we're together, yes, we're all here, we're fine, but he also still is present here. He still likes to look after the family. He's still very much remembered, and he's going nowhere, is what he keeps telling me to say here. Going nowhere.
Okay.
Did he also always wear like a baseball cap or a cap as well, Darren?
For him?
Yep.
No.
Yep, no, I can't change that because he's showing me like a photograph of the baseball cap that may have like, I don't know anything about, sport cars or anything, but I feel it would be connected to the car situation again.
Oh. I'm not aware, but that could be very possible.
Okay, that will be good proof for you, but I feel just to talk, it's like let's just say the cap says BMW, but I just feel the cap would be of a vehicle brand or sport brand or something to do with the vehicle.
Okay.
But have a look for that, Darren, but spread the love that he is still watching over the kids, a great sense of pride, seeing the family still growing and being connected, being very, very important to him. Very important. And again, maybe just because we weren't expecting his passing or didn't see that coming the way it went, doesn't mean he didn't know that he was loved. And always remember that as well. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak with you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sandra, I will hand back to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Dominic. And thank you to our panelists from the spirit world. I like calling them that because you just heard, especially with this last person that came through, they're still part of our lives. They are very much part of our lives. Dominic, Darren, myself, we've been working with people in the afterlife, doing our explorations for so long. They're healthy, they're well, they're whole, they're not living in pain or guilt or whatever. Certainly if there's apologies and amends to be made, they send those to you, but they are well. We're going to see them again. They're our biggest cheerleaders. And yes, they may show up in our dreams. We may have a great medium reading, but sometimes, my friends, these gentle little reminders just pop in from out of the blue. It could be a song that comes into your mind, or randomly you're thinking about a vacation you took together or something like that, that's them. That's them. That's the easiest way they can get right through. They do work with our memory, our imagination. It's the easiest way for them to communicate. So please don't ditch those thoughts when they pop in. And I know, especially to our friends that are grieving right now, it's sometimes those memories are a real tough thing, but we will see them again. I want to remind you, if you don't already have a copy of my book, you can have a free copy, a free PDF. Chapter 10 is about grief, how to survive grief, because no matter how much we believe in the afterlife, our bodies will grieve, our minds will, but there are some things we can do to help us through the process, lessen the pain. And if you don't already have a copy, on the main screen at wedon'tdie.com, towards the bottom, you enter your name and your email address, if you like to be on my mailing list. It says you get the first few chapters of the book. It's the entire book. So just scroll through to chapter 10. And to me, that's the most powerful chapter, although I think the rest is good too. Speaking of books, our friend Dominic has a lovely, lovely book called The Voice of Spirit, The Boy Next Door with the Incredible Gift. You can find out more about our good friend our good friend Dominic at dominicboag.com. Yeah, you can find out about Darren with everything we do at wedon'tdie.com. So that's dominicboag.com. You can meet Dominic, Darren, our good friend Scott Milligan, medium Josephine McKenzie, and more friends in Barlo, which is in the Netherlands. They're doing a live retreat November 18th through 22nd. It's going to be very, very special. You can find out about that at togetherwithspirit.com. And last year, people from all over the world met there together and had a really beautiful time. So that's togetherwithspirit.com. Now, coming up on my website, which is wedon'tdie.com, we've got some great new classes and things. Tomorrow, if you'd like, you can join Scott Milligan and myself for the first of 4 sessions, which is called Trance and the Altered States. Trance is a different kind of mediumship. We spend most of the time in class with our eyes closed as Scott leads us into a gentle blending with the spirit world. That's our loved ones, our guides. We don't do any breakout rooms. You're not giving readings, but it is a very gentle and very, very special class. It's called Trance and the Altered States. All classes are 2 hours and video replays are included. Everything we offer has a money-back guarantee because we want to make sure you're happy, and they're really good classes. On Tuesday, you can sit in the power. It's called with Scott Milligan. It's a nice time to just recharge our spiritual batteries as he leads us into a nice sitting with the power of our soul. On Friday, Scott Milligan is back with myself for what we call In the Arms of Eternity. We first start by sitting for healing, and as a physical and trance medium, Scott eventually goes quiet with his eyes closed, and out of his mouth speaks the voice of a friend who no longer walks this earth, but has been working with Scott for a very long time. It's usually a gentleman by the name of Eric. All of our times are experimental, but they're beautiful occasions, and we get to ask questions of this friend in the spirit world. So you might have heard from Eric before on one of my podcasts or on a Friday with us. Next Sunday, Darren and I will be joined by medium Avril Johnston Craig. So we've got that coming up. Everything is at wedon'tdie.com. Everything coming up is on the store page, whether it's free or paid or donation. You can find it at the store page. Also, I have 2 new podcast episodes on We Don't Die. You meet clinical psychologist Dr. Amy Robbins, who's got some very interesting stories about why she knows the reality of the afterlife and her own personal experiences. And then on Shades of the Afterlife, an episode that will give you goosebumps. It's called Phone Calls from the Deceased. So it's phone calls, text messages, other things that happen with electronics, and pretty cool. All at wedon'tdie.com. Finally, I just want to say to those of you who have donated to make our Sunday gathering possible, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We never ask, but we do appreciate if you can. Fine, if not, fine. But at the Sunday Gathering page at wedon'tdie.com is where you would find that. I just want to share a few last words from me for the week before I turn it over to Dominic for our closing prayer. As we're talking about holiday vacation, something I read in my reading is that even 8 weeks prior to a vacation. We're excited about it. Let's put some things in our calendars, in our diaries. Now, they don't need to be trips to Gran Canaria, or they might be, but if we can put some things in our calendar that we're looking forward to, I know from personal experience, it makes the weeks and the days and the months a little bit brighter. Believe it or not, when I do the music from the Sunday gathering, whoever is the chairperson will do the songs. And if you've been with us for a while, every so often there's some funny stuff that I put in there, little dances, little caricatures and things. And even by putting favorite vacation spots onto the videos today, I get all excited because I know Dominic and Darren are going to see them and they don't know they're coming. And for whatever reason, that is me living into the Sunday gathering. Even it could be days or weeks ahead of time. I get excited. And so, yes, we can use the same theory about going on a vacation. We get excited before it happens. But what can each one of us put in our calendars now that we have to look forward to? And sometimes it's doing something nice for another person, a little surprise, a little time we pay it forward, a little secret thing that we do that somebody's going to find. I tell you, that kind of stuff gives us life. And anytime we can make a difference for another person, that's like extra brownie points, really. I think that's why we're on earth, to make lives a little easier for others. But our life seems to work out when we can pay attention to others. So I'm just going to leave you with those thoughts about living into our future, having something on the calendar coming up, and how much of a difference that's going to help us make today in the present moment. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dominic for our closing prayer.
Thank you, Sandra. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. Let's take a moment of contemplation and give thanks to our friends in the Spirit. Divine Spirit, Father God, we graciously thank you for allowing us to come together as one under the banner of We Don't Die, allowing us to speak the truth that life truly is eternal and that love itself cannot die. We ask for the healing to come forth for us, ourselves, our friends, our family, our pets, but also those here in this world who are struggling with addiction, with pain of grief, illness. Help give them the comfort that will help them keep moving forward. And help each and every one of us find a little bit of paradise, whether that be a vacation or whether that be just a break in life. Help us find that paradise that helps us move forward, recharged, and bring a little bit more light into this darkness. All this we say in your name, Father, which is love. Amen.
Thank you so much, Dominic. First, a thank you to my amigos, Dominic, Darren, and myself, the three amigos. Thank you to you folks, wherever you are in the world. You could do anything with your time, and you gave it so freely to us today, and we don't take that lightly. Thank you for spending time with us. Also, thank you to our friends and loved ones in the spirit world. They are with us, my friends. As we go into our closing song, Darren has picked a beautiful rendition of the Katy Perry song, Fireworks. But what he doesn't know is I added a little Sandra magic, and there's some fireworks from one of the happiest places on earth. So here is our closing song. We love a little Disney, don't we? All right, everybody, go make it a great week. Share some love. We love you. We'll see you next Sunday, if not sooner. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Darren. Thanks, Dominic. Bye.